searching in a secret underwater world.
They've gone to depths of 12 metres.
Scientists have solved a decades-old mystery.
It's just quite magical.
This tiny life form isn't just seaweed, but an entirely new species to science.
This has taken me 40 years.
That's kind of the thrill of this kind of diving.
This is a story about seaweed.
Oh, well, seaweeds are incredibly important.
Experts say they play roles in economies, medicine, food, and even toothpaste. They can help build healthy fisheries and create diverse natural habitats.
We have to live with them and respect them. You know, we really have to look after them, we really have to love them and look after them. They're really precious.
And now this tiny treasure is being added to the Natural History Museum's collection, an entirely new species of seaweed to science.
It's great. I think it's what sort of spurs you on, really.
But to really understand how it got here and its story, we first need to understand where it came from and another seaweed which it lives on, called
Merle.
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 Well,
Merle, M-A-E-R-L. It sounds a bit like Merlin. It's a little bit magical. It's a coral-like seaweed, so it's rigid, it's three-dimensional. It's slow-growing like coral, it's incredibly fragile, and it supports this incredible biodiversity. So there's a lot of parallels with Great Barrier Reef or other habitats like that.
We're travelling to Cornwall's south coast and a hidden world of Merle whose existence has only recently been confirmed and documented by scientists. It's an area where the new species of seaweed was found and why a team of scientific divers is returning to see if more discoveries can be made.
Every single boat we go to is so different and we're finding different things all the time. So, yeah, it's exciting. I don't export.
I have been invited to see their work in action.
What's absolutely fascinating is the sheer amount of equipment that goes in with them.
2 air cylinders,
Cameras,
2 regulators for breathing,
it takes good, no fluctuations.
a magnifying glass,
Comms,
our form here for writing everything down.
knife, compass, you've got my quadrat.
We have a spare pencil too.
See? It can be challenging diving in the UK. Sometimes the visibility makes it challenging. You can't see very far underwater. You might have currents. But scientific divers, we're trained to deal with that sort of thing.
You can see it's blustery and cold, but not as cold as down there, which is why the divers are in full dry suits, which keeps them dry inside and hopefully nice and toasty.
This is a site that we discovered. So it's one of our new Merle sites and it's one of the loveliest. You've got Merle beds coating the seabed and there'll be loads of different seaweeds and animals going within that. And also you've got reefs to the side, so this kind of mosaic of different habitats is supporting so many other species. So these are the areas where we've been finding not only quite extensive Merle, but these new species, including one that's new to science.
You're just kind of at one with nature and in your own little world a little bit, really.
Beneath the surface, where sound and light changes, in this immense other world, as if finding a needle in a haystack, somehow the new tiny seaweed species was retrieved.
I gathered it.
It was a day a bit like today when we were out on a survey of the Merle. Francis has brought this sample back.
It was just really small, but I kept finding it in the samples.
He said, I think this is the one that Christine Maggs has been looking for.
I'd been on the lookout for a long time.
Since her PhD, the tiny seaweed in question was a mystery for Professor Christine Maggs that kept popping up. Over the years, piecing the puzzle together, she was searching for a big enough sample to truly identify it.
Yes, I found it. I'm Francis Bunker, I'm a freelance marine biologist, and it was annoying me, so I contacted Christine Maggs. I sent her a photo And she said, "Oh."
I said, well, I need it in London. And I had a wine fridge that I'd bought in case I could get it.
I gathered as much as I could from the samples we'd been collecting and sent them up to Christine.
So I started trying to grow it in what we call crude culture, that's just sterile seawater. So I keep it in low light in the bottom of the wine fridge, and they're still alive 2 years later. It has been alive ever since there. That's right.
And it's been chilling in your wine fridge?
Yes, it has. And inside here, life has continued. The thing is that this particular seaweed is so small that it has very little features that can really help us to recognise it. So that's why I needed to get some molecular data. I needed to get some DNA sequences. And that's why this has taken me 40 years. And finally, I was able to link all this together. And now I knew what that little seaweed was that occurs on Merle, and realised that it was a new species to science.
It's a sweet little thing. It's like candy canes, you know, Christmassy.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
They've gone down to depths of around 12 metres and they'll be down there for up to an hour. They're really experienced divers, which means the diving is second nature. So when they're at the bottom, it's going to be all about science.
They signal us when they're at the bottom starting work, and when they're at the end of the dive, they can signal if there's an emergency.
Unlike leisure diving, the scientists here aren't just enjoying this marine habitat, they are surveying it, studying it and taking samples. And over time, they can build up a picture of this world and whose home it is. It's because this particular area is so new to detailed exploration, not much is known about it. Documenting it gives scientists a chance to also see how healthy it is, as it isn't formally protected. The Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs in the UK says protection may not be needed, and there aren't requirements to protect all examples of species and habitats.
Seaweed is under threat from a number of angles, if you like. The most obvious one is climate change. I've often sort of pondered to myself, what would the world be like without seaweeds? You take away your nurseries for some of your economically important fish, but you also take away that immense diversity that makes our world function.
I think that the work we're doing has really highlighted the biodiversity within Merle beds, and put that together with their fragility, the fact they have been exploited in the past, and all the environmental problems we have. My hope is that they will be recognised for their importance and for their conservation.
They're surfacing with new insights, and this interval is crucial to share and gather information on what they've seen and recorded.
Once the boats come back up, we want to make sure they're all okay, they come back up, and then the slates we want to collect, which is the data the divers have collected. We want to make sure we've got it photographed, we've got a record of it.
Quite often we get things where we don't know what it is. So, as well, at least underwater. So we have to come back, we have to look at all these seaweeds under a microscope, so it's much higher sort of resolution. And then all the things that we're unsure about, we pick them up, we put them in a little sample bag and it's marked. So that when we go back to the lab, then we know where it's come from.
I suppose you've got to be a bit nerdy in a certain way, and you've got to be curious, and you've got to have a love of it, really. You've got to be awed by it all, which I never cease to be.
So pink when you drop down at first, and the seabed is just covered in this lovely merle, and lots of shell, and then other seaweeds growing on it. There was starfish wandering across it, spider crabs, and then all of the smaller things once we started to look closely. But we would not normally bring up any merle because it is so precious. So I've just brought it up to show you, and we're going to put it back. Merle is incredibly slow growing. It grows about 0.5 millimetre a year. So it takes a really long time for these beds to form. Each individual merle nodule is free living, so they can kind of roll around, but together they form this matrix. Because it's three-dimensional, it has all these nooks and crannies within it, and in there you've got loads of different animals living, and on the surface lots of different seaweeds, and so that's food for everything else in that food chain, like our internationally important seabirds, like seals, and all of the wildlife that we like to see in Cornwall.
We say goodbye to the recently revealed Merle site and head to a well-established and well-documented one a short boat ride away in the Fal Estuary. This zone is formally protected as a conservation area, and the new little seaweed species was also discovered living on the Merle here. I've been invited to snorkel over it, and I'm told
it's a Merle bed that's dated to 4,000 years old. I bet it'll look amazing.
It's finally time to jump in and float above the Merle.
It's not as cold as I thought it would be.
Beneath the surface, the seaweed here is vastly different to the clumps you find washed up on shore. Beneath us is a kaleidoscope of colour and structures suspended and swaying in the salt water. My fellow snorkelers capture images of the Merle by swimming to the bottom on one breath.
I saw life underneath the water. There were fishies, and the seaweed just swaying with the sea. It's beautiful. We really got this sense of this underwater secret world that people can rarely get to, and the magic of such a place.
Once out of the water, it's time for the scientific divers to take over and study it. Whilst this Merle site has been known about for some time, it is still yielding data, including samples of the newly described seaweed species. Back on shore, the day is not over for the divers. They've set up a makeshift lab.
We'll bring bits back, minimal amounts. We'll have a look at them with our books and try and identify them. Sometimes we have to use the microscopes to help with that, so it can be quite detailed work, and this can go on quite late into the evening. We're looking hard at these seaweeds, so there may be more new ones. I'm sure there's all sorts of biodiversity within those Merle beds that we haven't found yet. So it's just a matter of time and keep doing this.
And Eureka! Something not seen before.
I've found some Varceramium seaweed, the newly described one. It's great because it's one of the biggest pieces I've ever found, and also it's fertile, and it's never been found fertile before.
It means scientists can see this secretive seaweed's life history. It's so new it doesn't have a common name yet, so you're being invited to make suggestions. Any ideas? I've asked some of the divers.
Pink banded bandit, pink seaweed.
Ribbon claw.
Merle claw.
Pink zebra pencilweed.
When you look down a microscope, you can see the little pincers on the end.
A claw that you get from sort of a vending machine.
But it's pink.
And it's banded, you know, like a bandit. That's stripes from the rubber.
That's lovely.
We like that.
It's such a privilege to go diving somewhere like this, and you never get long enough. It's different every single time.
I think it's what spurs you on, really. Finding a new species is like icing on the cake or the cherry on top.
We didn't necessarily realise that we'd be still finding new species that live on that Merle. We're confirming the importance of Merle beds, which are very vulnerable habitats.
So there's just this amazing story to be told in the seaweeds, and you know, the more you look, the more you find, and so this little seaweed tells us that amazing story.